What about the nodes of the moon? Where do we see that in nature? We see that in eclipses. This is a long story short. This is a half a day lecture in a couple minutes. But long story short, we've got an ascending node and we've got a descending node. And since we humans have a penchant for projecting meaning, a descending node, descending, that's down and that's south and that goes behind us. And things that are down and south and behind us, that's the past. And the south node, that's now we know where the moon is going to travel, hits the moon's south node, it descends and the moon starts to move through places that the earth has already been in space. And when the moon comes up, ascending, it's moving in a place where the earth is going to be going. So the north node of the moon is where the astronomical trajectory of the Earth is. South node of the moon, where we've been on this. There's the past and there's the future. And how do we see that? So we know that astronomically now, but in ancient times, what's up? Well, oh my goodness, what happened to the sun? Oh my goodness, what happened to the moon? It turned blood red. Whoa, magic, mystery, you know, myth, mythologies galore. We could get into rich mythologies all over the place, every culture, all kind of coming down to the same thing. We don't know what's going on. Some kind of portal is opening. Everybody, get in your house and close the shades. Why? Because we now know astronomically that there's this electromagnetic and gravitational triangular relationship between the Earth and the Sun and the Moon. They're dancing triangularly. And anyone who knows geometry or architecture, a triangle is a very stable structure. You want to build a bridge out of triangles, hold it up. And so, things are held together. There's a there's structure there. Three things, there's relation, there's this conversation happening. Awesome. Oh no, here comes the nodes, here comes an eclipse. And they come into alignment. Instead of three lines, we got one line. Instead of this kind of like more three-dimensional form. Oh, now we're coming down to two dimensions. Oh, we lost a dimension. The door's open. And remember how we were talking about the world of elements, everything we can see, earth, air, fire, and water, everything we can see in this element, and maybe that consciousness or the love and imagination or whatever the spirit or whatever words we project on it is on the other side of that veil into a realm that is not quantifiable or qualifiable with our traditional elements. And then there's an eclipse, and that veil is more permeable, doesn't open. I mean, that would be cataclysmic and be like another planet colliding with ours. But veil gets thin, more permeable, that if there's intention there, oh, if there's will of consciousness in there, then maybe some prayers can be heard, and maybe some consciousness or some energy or some new information or some souls or whatever we call them come into this realm. And that's where we get the natural correlate, is that there's an interruption in the normal electromagnetic and gravitational lockdown of the earth and moon and sun, the life givers, the essence and our being. And then it comes into alignment. It's like, how did I describe it last night? It was actually pretty good, but it's like things come into alignment the way a key's lines come into alignment and push up the pins, and it unlocks the door. And so an eclipse is like the key being inserted into the door between that which we can understand and that which we cannot. And so, if we are to describe all of these things as I have with the limitations of human language, we could surmise that during an eclipse, that's when souls come into this three-dimensional realm, that's us, and when souls can leave this realm after departing, that's us. And so we look at these eclipse points as that trajectory. Okay, well, south node past, well, where energy has been. Energy's never created nor destroyed, so we've been around since the beginning. So here we are in the present. Well, where have we been? Well, there's the south node of the moon, where we've been, and where are we going? What's the idea? What's the point? What do we need to integrate into that? Well, there's the north node of the moon, where the planet's headed, where we're going. And so the idea isn't south node bad, get away from it, and north node great, everything's peachy, do this. No, the idea is we want to integrate them.